as a consolation prize, we go with the Kentucky Chew or we go with the Lumberyard.
I'm gonna go with the Kentucky Tea. I don't know about Kentucky Chew.
Oh, yes. I think I've been saying that.
No, even though this is the first time. I'd called you out before.
Oh, my bad. Okay, yeah.
But you know,
Big League Chew.
Right. You know, I ain't gonna let you slide on that.
Not Kentucky Chew.
What we drinking today, man?
You know something? Hey, I'm drunk, Lil. I'm drunk. And you know something? It's beautiful.
What we drinking today, man?
I don't want to get into the particulars, but I know that a bottle of Cavatier and a lady would definitely be involved.
What we drinking today, man?
All right, folks. Welcome back to another episode of What We Drinkin. I'm your boy Hill. No AKs today, because my man to my left of me has got all the AKs, a.k.a. Barrel Strawberry, a.k.a. I'm going to let you do the rest.
Fonzarelli, host of Baltimore's #1 alcohol review show, Bodymore Bottles, aka Barrel Strawberry, aka the Bourbon Brawler, aka Microbrew McIntyre.
That's a good one.
and many more.
The other one I liked was Mashbill Belichick. Yeah, that one was nice.
He's clever with the AK.
Yeah.
And my boy, we gonna go AK or no?
Nah. We gonna
just
go straight
Bud today.
Just Bud. I mean,
no Blondes with Bloodhound.
Nah.
No Clifford.
Nah, see, there we go. It's always a little dig with this dude. Always a little dig. That's okay.
Always a dig. But folks, we have another special episode for you folks today. Like we said, it's November, October, September. As soon as that calendar turns to the fall season, it's hunting season.
The hunt is on.
He was able to snag one early.
Yeah.
What do we have here?
Kentucky.
Bookers.
The Bookers. Is it this one?
Yep.
Yeah. We got the Bookers Kentucky Tea here.
Kentucky Tea.
The third batch of the year.
2022, number 3.
Yeah.
And we wanted to do a special, kind of Booker's episode.
That's the 2022 lineup.
The lineup, yeah. To let you folks know, Booker's, and we talked about this early off camera, and we talked about this last year when we did the Bardstown batch and a couple of others. Booker's is starting to get up there in price, Booker's. Jim Beam is starting to get a little bit expensive, so we wanted to make sure that folks that are watching the episode know that we may not recommend every Booker's, but we want you to know which Booker's out of the 3, because 3 is 350
plus,
right?
With tax, you're gonna spend 4 bills
MSRP.
to get 3 bottles.
Yeah, MSRP on the Kentucky Tea was $99, so you bought it at the gift shop.
After taxes, it might have been 100 and some change.
Good Lord! That's a lot of money!
Not cheap. Then we bought the Lumberyard, 140 out the
Yeah,
door.
141 and some change.
That's a lot of money!
A little ashamed to say that, but we like to review for you folks. We spend a little bit extra for you folks. And then the Ronnie's batch,
which was a little cheaper. We got that for like $115. Out the door was like $120.
Good Lord! That's a lot of money!
but still over 3 bills for 3 batches of Bookers when it used to be 69, or less, right around that time.
Also got the little book.
Well, we just put this out there for aesthetic. We want to start this by giving you a nose, and I'm gonna let the true folks that actually have.
I'm gonna let the guest of honor start it
decent
off.
sniffers go into it first, and then I'll let you know how I feel about it. We can give a little bit of background. Kentucky Tea this year is coming in a little bit higher age stated, right? So
they all graduated from Ronnie's batch to Lumberyard to Kentucky Tea. The ABV went up on each one of them.
And that's a good thing. Folks do like a little higher age if they're gonna spend a little bit of extra
And
money.
it is the oldest one, speaking of that.
Okay.
So you got the Ronnie's batch that came in at 6 years. Then you got the Lumberyard that's 7 years. But the Kentucky Tea is 7 years, 4 months, and 14 days.
Okay. And how many other Bookers have you had outside of?
This is my first one.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
No, that's perfect.
I haven't even tried this one yet, so
Hey,
it's my first time
that's
trying.
perfect. That's perfect. This is what we like to see. We want to get the initial reaction to folks, you know, that are new to Bookers, old to Bookers.
Yeah.
You know, we want to let folks know that have a specific palate. All right, this one works for me because I used to like this.
While you smelling, do you think that the aesthetic of the Bookers with the box and the story behind it, do you think that adds to the value of the bottle?
Not for me.
Okay.
I've
Now-
seen some extensive
Well-
packaging. I would not spend, you know, extra $20, $30, $40 just for the packaging. Take the bottle out, and that's what I want to pay for.
I'm paying
That's
for the
me,
juice.
yeah.
I ain't paying for all the other stuff.
I mean, I want to put it on display,
Yeah,
but
yeah. I mean, it looks good on your shelf,
Right,
but
so it's a nice presentation.
right, but it's
It's not necessary.
it's not $25 to $50 worth of wood and storage.
but we do give a little bump, slight bump,
Yeah.
not $20 worth of bump, right? You know, you give a little nod to the aesthetics of things.
So what you pulling out of there, B-Mo?
I'm definitely getting some of that caramel flavored aromas, I should say. Some of the wood,
Caramelized wood sugars, of course.
yeah,
Oh yeah.
and some spices, I would say. And there's something else in there that I can't quite put my finger on. Maybe like
That's the
some corn or something. Maybe I'm not too
that's
sure.
the genuine the staple of Bookers. That's peanuts.
We do.
That is
It's
a
well known.
Booker's.
It's like
peanut
a little
shells.
must. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like a little must
Peanutty.
to it.
Yeah,
George Washington Carver, hello.
like a little like Jiffy Light.
Not even a full Jiffy.
Nah.
Not even.
Because you got
skip.
the brown sugar and you got the caramel and the barrel just sitting on top of that. So you got to search for the peanut.
Okay. So we got that. Any other notes that we pulling? I'm not pulling.
I don't know. I get like a little honey or like a light fruit,
Okay.
something with a little sweetness to it.
Okay. Well, ain't nothing else to do other than pour this one up, folks. No need to lollygag.
Let's get straight into this body bag.
Yes, sir. Apologize, didn't mean to steal your stick. I
No,
need
I
you
would-
into it, but
I would have forgot it if you didn't just say it just now.
okay.
For it to be what 27.5, 126.5 proof, 126. It doesn't drink like it.
I think it punches below that.
Yeah,
I think it punches below that, but I do get a little bit of, it's not the alcohol burn, but there's the spice.
yeah, you
I
feel
get
that.
pepper.
Yeah, that's on your
Pepper.
tongue.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's
The
it's
hug
not on my
isn't.
palate.
It isn't in a rough hug either.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, it's not harsh. It's not a harsh.
I mean, it has
Nope.
has that creamy feel.
Yeah.
Why do we call this Kentucky tea? Do we remember?
I can read the story.
Well, I know it's like 4
I was about to
fingers,
say, I can go-
3 fingers of bourbon and 1 finger of water, right?
Yeah, something.
And that
Something
makes
about
That's
what
what
the
Kentucky tea?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's the bourbon and water makes
Booker knows.
Kentucky tea.
Yeah, that's his Kentucky tea concoction.
It
We
might
don't
be something
necessarily
deeper
like
than that,
water-
but
water.
That's the
That's the saying. I got you. You can't know everything, folks. I did not know
I
that.
wasn't trying to test you.
Oh
sir.
no, it doesn't matter. I'm confident in me.
Confident in your reading skills.
Yeah.
But yeah, first impressions,
Even though it's
good.
it got me. It warmed me up though.
Yeah. Nice, decent finish.
Oh yeah. It's
A little bit of a Kentucky hut. Ooh.
what you
you
found
get a
something?
little bit of sweetness, maybe some fruit in there.
I got a sweet note off of my nosing, but can't tell you what it is though. But okay.
Hold on. I got something almost like a pineapple or like a mango.
It was so maybe
I was
I'm
gonna say
leading
something
into it.
sweet, like I was going to say like a candied apple, but
Okay.
that might not be. It's something sweet in there, definitely for sure. Some sweet type of fruit.
Yeah, so we're getting the fruity.
Yeah. That and it's
But that's not typical, right? So like you said, it's always
Peanut.
usually peanut shells, peanutty.
yeah. I mean, that's where that creamy mouthfeel comes from. Right?
So before we get into our kind of final
5 bottle
assessments of the Kentucky tea, folks, please like, share, and subscribe to both channels, Bodymore Bottles, and of course, What We Drinkin. We try and bring you, good content, fresh content, new content. It's not cheap, as you can see. We went through the MSRPs, so we would appreciate it, if you could hit that notification and subscribe button on both channels. And, we'll bring you more content, not just whiskey stuff. Our man Bodymore also has beer. He also has cocktails. It's a lot of different content.
Whole plethora.
Yeah.
Would you say I have a plethora of piñatas?
A what?
A plethora.
Oh, yes. You have a plethora.
All right, folks, we're back. Part 2 or semi-part 2. We're gonna compare the Kentucky tea to some other more popular or also a previous batch from 2022. So we have Kentucky tea, we have the Lumberyard batch, which a lot of folks have given pretty good reviews on earlier this year, and also a lot of folks that have been away from Booker's that have come back to Booker's. They're saying the Lumberyard is the best batch in a few years. And then we also have given you a surprise guest. You might have seen it over my right shoulder, my left shoulder. I'm not sure. Country Ham. And Country Ham is coming in at wrong one. Ronnie's batch. Sorry. You can read it off.
Coming in at 62.35.
And what date?
So we got 6 years, 4 months, 2 days.
And what year was that in batch?
This is number 3 of 2019.
2019. So right before Booker started going crazy and exploding all over the place with MSRP, price hikes, you have an older batch that's more, that good Bookers.
Right.
So without further ado, we have Kentucky tea, we have the Lumberyard batch, and then we're gonna hit them with a little, comparison of the Country Ham, which is a classic Booker's.
I want to know who's coming up with the names. You're doing a good job. You're earning your money.
Booker enough. We appreciate it. So we're gonna give you a quick nosing, right?
So
on the Kentucky tea. You said the Kentucky tea?
I didn't even point.
Nope, don't even worry about it. Because we've already done that quick nosing. So we don't want to go in depth. You can compare it to the Lumberyard.
I got Lumberyard here and Kentucky tea.
Man, I'm gonna taste this real quick so that we just have it on our palate, and let's go into the Lumberyard versus the Country Ham and tell you the differences between that and the Kentucky tea. So you can kind of say, hey, I used to like the Country Ham. I used to like the Lumberyard, or I've had the Lumberyard and I like that. Should I go out and buy the Kentucky tea, or is it totally different from the Lumberyard?
I'll break. The hug of the Lumberyard is a little stronger. It feels a little stronger, even though it's at a lower proof. Less
more of a bite, more of a peppery note.
Yeah.
Hitting you on the mid palate. What do you got?
I'm getting a lot more oak from, more that wood flavor and more wood aroma from the Lumberyard than the Country Ham as well.
And it's aged, it's younger. So that's interesting. But you just never know. Day, season, year, all that stuff. Same year, but
it might have been hotter one year than in the other year,
It's moving in and out of the oak. Moving and grooving.
Right here in my setup, I got Lumberyard. I got Country Ham.
Any differences though? We're not necessarily gonna rate.
Right, no,
I'm just want to tell you the differences.
Right, no, I was getting ready to go through them.
Okay, knock them out the box, Rick.
So that this is Kentucky tea, so you already got that one. And we're going off of the Country Ham versus the Lumberyard.
Okay.
the nose on the country ham is softer.
It's a lot more subtle.
But it's more subtle, but I get a sophisticated vibe from this one. Like these, I'm like, okay.
Like,
But
it's
this
easy
one,
to
I'm
put
like,
your nose into it.
Yeah, this one you jump on the lumberyard, it's gonna punch you in the nose.
Yeah, yeah.
This one right here, it gives you this soft and sweet smelling.
I want to take this one out on a nice, steak dinner on Saturday night.
Hey, we're gonna
dress up a little bit.
We're gonna go to the fair and hit the fair.
This lumberyard, I'm getting a lot more of that cinnamon, that nutmeg aromas coming through.
That cinnamon,
Yeah.
the big leaf, not the big leaf chew, but the big red.
Yeah,
That's usually what I get from Booker's. Because you got the spice, cinnamon at the same time.
Now let's see if the nose matches the taste.
Okay.
Or the taste matches the nose.
Let you go first, sir.
And as you see, my pour was policed.
Heavy hands, hula hands.
Hey, that's just the way it is. As my man said before, the stuff in the bottle is meant to be drank. So
what do we got though?
it is soft. It's a lot easier, sweeter on the palate.
It is.
Hug is very minimal. Doesn't last. The pepper doesn't last on your tongue like the Kentucky tea or the lumberyard.
But if you had to say, all right, you've had all three, right? And you want to say, all right, for me, my palate, I'm going to go with X.
Oh, let me do a quick. It'd be nice by the time.
And if it's tough, it's tough. That's good.
It's tough.
Because you're hoping that they are kind of similar, but also
I'll put it
a
this
little
way.
different.
I pay MSRP for all three of them.
Okay.
But to me, it's in between that lumberyard and the Kentucky tea. The Kentucky tea punches below its weight class, but the lumberyard punches a little bit above it to me. And I like the higher proof, but the lumberyard gives me that feeling of the higher proof, even though it's lower.
This one feels sneaky.
I like that.
Yeah.
It feels.
And then hit you over the head with the anvil, with a heavy, hard mallet.
6.5 hours later.
We just rip it.
Yeah.
So please like, share, subscribe. But also, most importantly, just drink.
What we drinking today, man?